Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a story time. And I'm going to tell you about the day that I had my son. So, before we get into this video, I'd like you to pause it, go down below if you're new, and subscribe. And I'd like you to like the video and comment below something. Comment below baby. That way I know you've made it here this far. So, here we go. So actually I'm going to start with my husband and I, we were planning our wedding. And we ended up, it was June, we decided on an August wedding of the next year. So August of 2016. So, we set the date. I mean, it's something we were discussing. And I had just gotten over the chicken pox. And we spent 2 months with each other constantly because nobody else in my family has had the chicken pox. So we were around each other all the time, and you couldn't really see me any other worse than that. So he decided that he wanted to marry me. So we set the date of the wedding, and about 2 weeks later I was having pains. So I hurried up, went in and had a pap. Well, I had my annual pap smear, and I told the doctor I was having pains. And he said because of having PCOS, he was worried that a cyst was going to erupt. And he said that in my situation, he was worried that if it erupted, it would damage. So that would be infertility, no children. That's all I heard. So we got in, and he scheduled an emergency ultrasound for, he said in 2 weeks to come back. So I came back my 2 weeks, and we're thinking, okay, how soon are we going to need to get surgery to get this out? So we go in, doing the ultrasound, and you hear this boom, 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 boom. And I look at my husband, and I said, oh my God, the cyst has a heartbeat. And I'm making jokes. And my husband has a tear in his eye. The nurse looks at me and says, no, honey, that's the baby's heartbeat. You're 8 weeks, 2 days pregnant. Well, after being told that I would not be able to have children on my own, I'm being told I'm 8 weeks, 2 days. So I was told I had to stick around anyway to go over the results of the ultrasound. And he walks in and he goes, holy shit. Those like the only words out of his mouth. And he goes, well, the good news is we won't need surgery, but you will be delivering a baby in 9 months. And we're laughing. So, I had to come back to do my first prenatal checkup. And so my mom's texting me because she's under the impression I'm going to have to go in for surgery to have the cyst taken care of. So she kept asking me, are you okay? I haven't heard from you. What's going on? So I texted her back and I said, I'm good. Surgery's in about 9 months. And she's like, what do you mean? So I texted her back and I said, the cyst had a heartbeat. And we're 8 weeks, 2 days pregnant. And It is so hard to not tear up at this. So, she calls me and she's like, that's not how I'm supposed to find out. I'm like, trust me, that's not how I'm supposed to find out. Because with PCOS, I had always had a period on time. And it just happened to be where April I had missed, May I had missed. Well, I've taken pregnancy tests and nothing. So when I went in for June for my pap smear, even the test came up negative. But then July for the ultrasound, I was 8 weeks. So everybody was in shock, but they were so happy. So, my mom's like, this is not how you're supposed to tell me. So I waited for my dad to come home, and my dad's like, as soon as I told him, his response was, and you thought you couldn't get pregnant. I was so happy that he didn't get mad. I mean, you couldn't really get mad over something like that, but the fact that we knew we were getting married, and we figured I was under the impression it would take 2 years to get the birth control out of my system. It would take like 2 years to conceive. So I figured, we're already planning the wedding. We're already going to get married. Why not? My next move was to tell my sister. My mom asked me, she's right here, you want to tell her? Okay, so I told her, and there was a pause, just like my dad, and says, and you thought you couldn't get pregnant. Well, so, we go on. First doctor's appointment, everything's normal. Never had diabetes. Never was concerned about anything until I was going in for my 36-week appointment. Which, let me back up a minute. My gender reveal, we found out. I called my best friend at the time. She went and bought paint, t-shirts, so we could do handprints on the belly. She took pictures for me of wearing the shirt with me and my husband, and I told everybody we'd wait till we got the pictures back to reveal. It was really cool. She never downloaded them to send them to me. I asked multiple times. She was too busy. I understand you could be busy, but this was my gender reveal. So, long story short, I never got my pictures. The only thing I have to this day is the t-shirt I had made. So I ended up telling everybody, because 4 days went by and people are asking, what are you having? So I had to tell them, it's a boy. His name's going to be Ryan Matthew. So 36 weeks comes in, they told me I'm losing fluid. And they want me to come in the next day to see if I'd replenished any. I go in, they told me that because you're dizzy, I just wasn't feeling right. So they said, we're just going to go ahead and admit you now. Well, at 36 weeks and 2 days, my husband wasn't expecting me to be already induced. So, but he did ahead of time ask people that if they would stay, because he was the manager at the company. So he asked them if they could stay whenever, so I called him, told him I'm walking over to the hospital to pretty much come down here. I don't have my overnight bag. He had to stop and get that. They said I would have time if I wanted to take my car home, but how was I getting back? My husband was about an hour away. So, I just kept the car there. I just walked over there, went ahead and admitted myself. I'm on the phone with my mom, telling her so she can get out of work. So, I go over, and it's about noon, and I'm getting a room, I'm getting my IVs, so, now it's just the waiting game. So, he comes in, as I'm filling out my papers, so, it's just a waiting game. I didn't dilate, at all. I think finally, so about 10 hours, so about 10 o'clock that night, start dilating. Finally at about, they said it was about 3 a.m., and they said, if you're going to want an epidural, you're going to need to get it now, before it's too late. So 3 a.m., I got the epidural. The whole time before that, I was just taking, I think, pain meds. I took two of those, and that's when they said, that was then the 3 o'clock where it was like last time, get the epidural. So I got the epidural, and then it was just a waiting game. So, about 5, 6, I'm dilating now, but I think I finally hit 10 centimeters at 10 a.m. So I was almost induced 24 hours to hit my 10 centimeter mark. So the nurse on time comes in, and she's checking me. She's like, yeah, because I also told her, because the catheter was causing so much pain, and I was in pain for about 4 hours before I figured out it was the catheter. And as soon as they popped the amniotic sac themselves, all the pressure was gone. I wasn't in pain anymore. So I was just, that was my problem. Here, for about 4 hours, I thought that the pain was contractions. I thought the pain was birth related, and all it was the catheter bothering me. So they popped the amniotic sac, and everything, all the pain was gone. Because they kept telling me, if you still have pain, keep upping your epidural. So, but I still had pain. Well, that would be why. So, 10 a.m. hits, I'm starting to dilate. Well, first, my regular doctor was on vacation. So, this is the 1 week a year he takes his vacation. So, I have another doctor. The one that induced me, she's on her way now. Well, I thought after inducing me, she would hang around. So, she's nowhere. She's still at home. So, I'm waiting on her. And I'm now sitting at 10 centimeters. And I'm like, I got to push. She's like, well, the nurse comes in and tells me, push. So, she's like, all right, you're starting to crown. Now, hold it in and wait until the nurse gets here. Well, you've done all this pushing. You just pawn it out. So, I had to sit there and wait. So finally, at 11:30, she's not there yet. 12, not there yet. 12:30. Or no, I think she got there at 12. So between 12 and 1, all I'm doing is pushing. You know, they tell you 2 people are allowed in the room. So it was my husband, and it was my husband and my mom. My dad went back home because he thought he still had time. Well, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, he's still waiting on our family friend to arrive, and I'm about ready to deliver. So, we're trying to tell him he needs to hurry up and get there. So, and then I got, the 3 nurses. Then on top of that, they asked me if I was okay with student teachers, which I was fine with having other people in the room. But I'm to the point where I got 3 people at my feet, the 2 on the sides, and my mom and my husband both had to hold my feet. So, and my mom's over here taking pictures as she's holding my feet. And then I got the students in the back watching. And I was about ready to tell them, grab a foot, because if you're going to be in here, you're going to work. Jokingly. So, at 1:12, had my son, and I was about done of hearing one more push. What do you think I've been doing? And I delivered him. And didn't cry, and I'm like, is this, they said it's fine, he's breathing. After watching the movies, I thought they always cry. No. So I thought something was wrong. So everything was fine. And it's funny because, to this day, you would never think my son was born early. He's completely normal. He's almost taller than me, and he's 3.5. I'm 4'8". I have a bone growth disorder, so they knew I would never have a growth spurt. But I'm so thankful my son doesn't have that. And my son is a complete normal kid, and it's so strange to see the difference between him and I. And his pregnancy was great. I had barely any morning sickness. It was like I wasn't even pregnant. So, the only thing I do gotta say is, after receiving his birth certificate, it said he was a female. And they tried to show me that I messed it up, but you're having me fill out paperwork while I'm under the pressure of being induced, this. So they fixed it. I had to go to court to prove that he's a boy, to be able to change his birth certificate, which was kind of funny in a way, but it's one of those stories that I will never forget. And my husband and I have been trying to have a second, so we'll see where it goes. But I am so thankful that we have our son. He is one of the smartest little boys. He can tell you what 2 colors makes the new, green and yellow, or blue. Blue and yellow make green. And red and blue make purple. He could tell you that. He's 3.5. That's pretty good. He's ready to go to Disney. He tells us every day, "Are we going to Disney World today?" "No." we finally booked our vacation for next year. So we're excited to get to take him on his first vacation. And I've been working on homeschooling him. That way I could focus on, he could get the one-on-one attention, because the schooling I had, when I went to public school, I was told I was too short. I dealt with too many bullies, and trust me, I have ways of getting him social interaction. So that is not going to be a problem. So, we're going to end today's story on that note. So comment below your birth story, or the father's perspective and how he felt and thought, and it'd be cool to get to know a little. Everybody's story is different. Everybody has their story to tell, and everybody's special. So it's good to know what everybody goes through. I'd like to get some male insights in this video as well. Birth from the father's side. So with that being said, I'm going to end this video. Have a great day. And remember, opportunities are created.